What's going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music. Today I want to talk about this record right here. This is Ghost McGrady, Believe, released on House Shoes' record label Street Corner Music. This was one of my most anticipated beat tapes of 2018. The tracks that I had heard from it up until the release of this record, which were Waiting for It All to End, Pull the Strings, and Partisanship, were all some of the most promising, some of the most unique and interesting instrumental hip-hop that I'd heard in a long time. So the hype levels were pretty high for this record going into it. But now that I've given it a listen and sort of formulated my thoughts and opinions on this record, I want to let you know if it's worth checking out and whether or not you should give it a listen. So with that being said, talk about this guy. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with who Ghost McGrady is, he is an LA-based beat maker who I think came from Florida. He resides in Koreatown, and he's been making quite a few beats as of late. Peruse his Bandcamp for just a second and you will see that he has a pretty exhaustive list of releases throughout the years. So it seems like Ghost McGrady is a pretty prolific beat maker. But it shows that with all the work that he's been putting into his beats, Ghost McGrady has managed to craft a sound of his own. So from my understanding, this record right here is a compilation or collection of material from 2014 up until this year. And despite the fact that it is a compilation or a collection of songs, it doesn't feel like it. This is one of the most cohesive collections of music that I've heard since probably Wildflower's Balloons album last year. And much like Balloons, this is one of my favorite street corner music releases I've heard in quite some time. Ghost McGrady is one of the most interesting, unique, and just overall exciting beat makers I've heard in a while. All of his songs exude so much mood, emotion, and atmosphere. And that's pretty rare for a lot of beat makers who mostly just go straight for the neck and make you, do one of these things. I don't really know what to call that. And that's not to say that Ghost McGrady isn't capable of making you break your neck, because he's definitely capable of doing that. But I find a lot of the tracks on here to be very moody, atmospheric, and very... what was the word I was looking for? That a lot of the tracks on here are very moody, atmospheric, and very meditative. And I really, really like that aspect of this record. Making this type of music, it could very easily fall into the category of lo-fi anime beats to study to, and Ghost McGrady thankfully avoids that trap by making not only, like I just said, some of the most emotive, moody, and engaging beats that I've heard in a while. These are just some of the finest examples of instrumental hip-hop as a medium for musical composition I've heard in a long time. The three previously mentioned tracks on here, Partisanship, Waiting for It All to End, and Pull the Strings, are definitely some of the finest tracks on here. I love Parks and Strings with that sample that's so close. I've been trying to figure out what it is because I know it's a classic sample, but I love the use of just atmospheric vibes and sort of light drum brushes as they get mixed in with some really hard drums, and it drips with so much atmosphere and mood, and I really, really like the sound on that. Waiting for It All to End, like I said, is another highlight. It comes very close to being almost like a Flying Lotus-esque track with some very unique choices in percussive sounds, sounding less like your sort of typical hip-hop, boom-bappy sort of drum kit, and instead using some more experimental sounds, and not just in the drums, but also the actual sampling production as well, because of the sort of weird alien sirens that make up the good majority of the song, as well as some of the floaty synth textures and sampling that sort of underline a lot of the track. It's just one of the most creative beats that I've heard in a while. And Pull the Strings is just so... I don't know how else to describe it. It's just a work of beauty. I love the delicate piano, the little drum brushes. There's just, not only like this track, but throughout the entire album, there's just such an attention to the little sonic details that make it such an excellent record to listen to. Other highlights on here for me are tracks like Disassociate, with its really almost tender, nostalgic, psychedelic sample, which leads into some just simply some of the most beautiful instrumental hip-hop that I've heard in a while. I love the vocal hook on this track. Landline has this amazing sub-bass destroying drop on it that I just absolutely love. And while these are mostly the tracks that stick out to me, this album is nothing but highlights. It never sticks to one particular atmosphere. There are some jazzier tracks, there's some straight up beat tracks, there are some more electronic music oriented tracks, but overall there's a great variety, sort of all fitting into what I can only describe as Ghost McGrady's sound. In terms of complaints with this record, much like I talked about with the Blue Stab album, I think I wish that some of the tracks on here were longer. There really isn't a bad song on here. Some of them are a little bit more memorable than others, but some of the really short tracks like Skip This Track and the absolute amazing emotional punch of The Last Song I'll Ever Make, closing out the album, is one of my favorite tracks on here, and I really wish that it was just even a minute longer. But even with this album being built around a lot of track vignettes, it's still a great listen. If you're a big fan of instrumental hip-hop like I am, if you're looking for some instrumental hip-hop with some weight to it that's both really engaging and also really creatively stimulating, Ghost McGrady, Believe, is easily one of the best instrumental hip-hop releases I've heard in 2018. One of the best instrumental hip-hop albums I've heard in a long time. And this album is definitely going in my top 10 favorite records of 2018. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for watching. If you've listened to Ghost McGrady's Believe, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, if you want to check this album out for yourself, head over to my WordPress or Steemit blogs. Link is always in the description. You can check out some songs from this record for yourself. Also, make sure you head over to my Mixcloud account where you can check out Raw Select Radio, which is basically the audio component of everything that I'm doing here with my YouTube channel and WordPress account. Definitely check it out, because it gives you basically the fullest picture of all the different types of music that I'm into, and hopefully it'll introduce you to some music that maybe you normally wouldn't listen to. So yeah, if you can, please check that out. But that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Till then, peace out!